Alright, so just got my ICS M4 out, and it's the one on the left with the grenade launcher on it. I can assure you it is an ICS M4 because it says ICS just right there. Alright, so we're going to get on with the comparisons, and I'm just going to do a few. And first off, I will just kind of name a few of the features that the ICS has that the PTW actually doesn't. So first thing is dust cover. You can open it by pulling back the charging handle, as you can see. So that's one realistic part, and also you can pull back the charging handle. And another realistic feature is that this actually does something rather than on PTW just a dummy. That's pretty much the main. Now the PTW, it definitely has more realistic dimensions. So here we have the two guns next to each other, and as you can see, this is the ICS M4 right there, and that's the PTW. And as you can see, because of the gearbox and the motor, the ICS M4's receiver and grip, it needs to be whitened, so it's a little bit wider than what it's supposed to be. And you can see that the PTW is complete real steel dimensions. As you can see, the motor, the grip is much thinner and flatter than the ICS M4. Alright, here's the magazines. The one in the center is the PTW. This is a G&G, and this is a cheap A&K. Now, the PTW has, the mag is, it's the exact same size as a real steel, and so is the G&G. But however, as you notice, the A&K is much shorter than both of them. See? Much shorter than both of them. And the reason for that is in AEG, because of the gearbox, the mag actually sits lower inside the gun. So the mag actually sticks out more because the mag doesn't go all the way up into the gun due to the gearbox being in the way. So therefore, that is why AEGs have feed tubes that come down and connects to the mag. But however, the PTW, because it uses a different gearbox system, the mag can actually go all the way up into the gun, just like a real steel M4. And the way you know that is just look at the square right there, which is where the mag release, or where the mag locks into the gun. As you can see, the PTW, it's a lot lower than this. See, if you put it next to the others line up the top. So it's a lot lower because the mag actually goes all the way in before it locks. But this, it goes in just a little bit and locks. So, and that is same thing as this. See, line up the top. As you can see, that's a lot higher. So that's pretty much the main reason why AEG mags and PTW mags aren't compatible. Alright, so we're gonna move on to our final part of the review, which is the shooting. I'll be making sure to put my orange tip on before I go out, and just do a quick shooting test for you guys, just to see how it shoots. Alright, as I said earlier, you can exchange out the cylinder to lower the FPS or to increase the FPS, and the takedown procedure is pretty much exactly the same as that of a real M4. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, first step, you have a pin just right there that you need to push out just like that, and then on the other side you just gonna grab it and then pull it out, and it stops right there. It doesn't come. Now here's a part which is slightly different from the real gun, is that the real gun, once you get the pin out, you can just go ahead and open up the receiver. But on the PTW, you really need to use some force to open up the receiver, and once I get it open, I'll show you why. So just go ahead and smack, just like that. And then, now you can see right there's a ball bearing. And right there, there's a little dent or a hole right there which the ball bearing locks into. So once you remove the pin, the ball bearing is still locking in there, so you do need to smack down for the ball bearing to come out of the socket or whatever you want to call it. And now pretty much the charging handle, you can't, remember I said earlier you can't pull back, but I found that actually a good thing because instead of making a charging handle cosmetic like on most AEGs, they actually made it function just like the real gun, which is if you pull it back, it'll pull out the cylinder unit just like that. You can take it right out. Alright, here's the gold cylinder that I use. Just like that, and it goes in. And this is pretty much just how you exchange FPS. Just take out the cylinder, put in a new one, and it takes seconds. Line it up and then push it in. Push in the charging handle. And then closing the gun is pretty much just as hard as opening it up. There we go. Locks in and push the pin in. Just like that. And you're set to go. First thing that you want to do to prepare for shooting is install the battery. This is a SYSTEMA PTW battery, 9.6 volt. And what you need to do is just pop off the butt plate, and there's just two little tabs right here that you need to push in, and they are kind of hard, and just pull right off, just like that. So here's the butt plate, and as you can see, you just slide your battery right up in there. First, what you want to do is there's a connector. You slide it in, connect the battery, and just push it in. Alright. And then to reinstall the butt plate, you line up the top and then just push the bottom in. And you're pretty much ready to go. I use SYSTEMA .2s. They're working pretty well for me. The magazine holds 120 rounds. It is a mid cap, and there are no high caps available for the PTW apparently. Lock it and give the bolt catch a push.